111 area code
Yeah, I know.
111.
I hear you. I see in your description page you got feminazi. Did you get that from Rush Limbaugh?
No, I didn't.
No. That's what he used to say until they got on his ass. Okay. So what's an MGTOW?
That's MGTOW.
The what?
Oh, you don't know what it is. That's the kind of guy who's not going to get married, ever.
Okay, that's me. So what does that mean?
Well, MGTOW are pretty much individuals. Well, like I said, they're pretty much against marriage. They see women as being very rich in gynocentrism, feminism. They're heavily influenced by feminism, and they call MGTOW is the acronym for Men Going Their Own Way.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah. Well, that's an appropriate acronym. Did you know about the book that was written by a female author? She was talking about the trend in America nowadays, how men are opting out of marriage.
Yes, I've heard of such things. I think you're talking about Helen Smith.
I believe so. The name escapes me now.
Men on Strike. Men on Strike, pretty much.
Yeah,
hey,
that sounds familiar. Yeah. I haven't seen the book, but I've heard about it. And I think she was also on a BTR show too. But it doesn't surprise me because nowadays men are leaving America to go over to Europe and over to Asia to find women, and they're opting out of marriage. And it just seems to me that that's the trend. I don't know if that's going to continue in the future, but it seems to me that it probably will, being that the laws are the way that they are.
So you do agree that marriage laws and divorce laws are pretty unfair and they heavily favor women?
Well, yeah, I would say so. Since a woman can marry you, say I do, and then as soon as she says I do, then half of your assets belong to her. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So overall, would you say marriage is a good thing?
No, I wouldn't say it was a good thing. With the law being the way that it is, no. Men are condemned. They're not exactly appreciated for being husbands or for being protectors, providers. So why should a man get himself into that particular type of trap? You can have a long-term relationship without being married, but if any girl who insists on being married now, give her a prenup. See how she reacts to it. If she says, well, I feel insulted, I feel offended, then you know she's after you for your money.
Okay. Sounds like good advice. But you do know that they're overriding our prenups these days, right?
Well, prenups aren't exactly leak-proof. They can be overturned in court, but that depends upon how good of a lawyer that you've had writing them up. So the best solution is not to even get married. Nowadays, people are having kids without being married, so you don't even really need marriage to have kids. So why go through all the hassle?
Well, I'll tell people it's kind of stupid to me. To tell you the truth, like I asked him what he thought of marriage, and the way he described marriage, you're making marriage seem like glorified shacking up, but I don't think that's what it was meant to be.
Who was that you were talking to?
It was somebody over the internet. I think his name was Josh.
Oh, okay.
You ever hear?
Well, I mean, just take a look at it logically. Now, marriage supposedly is supposed to be a settling down of both a man and a woman. They either have kids or if they don't want to have kids, to spend their life together. Now, when you take a look at it, that means that you're going to spend your life together under one roof. Now, how do you know that the person that you love now is going to be somebody who isn't going to get on your nerves for the next 20, 30, 40 years?
You don't know.
No. You don't
women
know.
play these games. Yeah, and there's women that play these games like well, sometimes men play these games too, but where they switch on you, like they get the ring and then shit, now things are different. You hear like you may have heard earlier, a woman said, hey, well, or actually a man said, once they get married, that woman and they feel like they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, the switch turns. The switch is flipped automatically. If you've ever dated somebody you've known for a while, right? Now she was your friend. Now you're dating her. As soon as you start dating her, she starts acting differently. Then as soon as you start living together, she starts acting a little differently. And then when you marry her, she really acts differently. So these switches are flipped on during each succeeding phase of a relationship. Again, my particular recommendation is don't get married.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about cohabitation?
If you want to, but again, the law steps in and says that in most states, I think it is, that if she's living with you for 4 years, she's your common law wife, which entitles her to your assets. Now, until I meet a woman who goes with me to the office every day and gives me advice on how to run my business, she's not my freaking partner. So since she didn't help me start the business, perpetuate the business, make it successful, she's owed shit.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you might have disagreed with another caller early in the line. Another caller felt that it's like you're married to, if you're with a woman and she doesn't help you. You make some kind of money that she deserves half of what you made, and you're saying no, right? Is that right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. Do you think marriage is religious today in 2015?
Do I think marriage is religious?
Yeah.
What do you mean by religious?
Like, does it mean the same thing it did in the times of Jesus of Nazareth?
I don't know. I don't know what marriage was like back then. So I couldn't say.
Okay, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. So basically, we don't even need marriage, do we?
For what reason?
And I don't know. Some people just tax benefits.
Well, I mean, again, the law is interfering with the person's right to be with another person the way that they want. I don't like the idea that you have to get married in front of a preacher, or you have to get married with the sanction of the state. It's none of the state's business. It's not the Catholic religion or the Mormon religions or the Jewish religion's business to get married. This idea where you have to get married according to their particular rules doesn't sit well with me. If you want to get married, in other words, if you want to have a public commitment, if I want to tell the world that I'm in love, and I want to set aside either some kind of institution, not a church, but let's say, I don't know, some place where I want to celebrate my commitment to her, then why do I have to do it by adhering to the laws of the state? In other words, if I want to do it on my own, I'm not married unless the state says we approve. Now that's interference. And what right does the state have to divide up my assets if I fall out of love?
I don't think they should. They should not, actually. They definitely should not. So you think the state's not regulating marriage?
Yeah, well, the state regulating marriage is a communist idea. The state should stay out of it. The churches should stay out of it. If I want to get married my own way, and if my woman wants to marry me the same way, that's our choice. And we can decide beforehand what will happen in case she falls out of love or I fall out of love. The idea that strangers that I don't even know will never meet, and have the authority to tell me that my assets belong to somebody else is ludicrous.
Okay. If you could change one thing about marriage today, what would you change?
Well, everything that I've talked about. Keep the state and religion out of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, do you think there's any possibility that could happen in the next, I want to say, 5 to 10 years?
That won't happen in the next 1,000 years.
Next 1,000?
No, that won't happen. Not unless people actually become more awakened to what the government's actually doing. The government is encroaching upon our rights as individuals every year, more and more. It starts out really, really small. It starts out incrementally, and then they grab more and more power, and pretty soon we don't have any individual rights at all. And that's the plan, and as well. So no, I don't have a lot of optimism about marriage being approved, especially with the state coming in to interfere.
Okay, it sounds like you might become vendetta.
I might become a what?
Look about feminism.
Oh.
V for Vendetta. Have you seen the movie?
Oh yeah, V for Vendetta. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, it's a good movie. Well, it's not the greatest ever, but I get the point in the movie.
Yeah,
but what do you think about the role of feminism in marriage?
Feminism is one of the reasons why marriage has gotten debased, why it's become bastardized, why it's ruined. It's helped to ruin marriage because it's given women the idea that they are strong and independent, which is nothing wrong with that, but they also give women the idea in conjunction with that men are the enemy. And yet, while men are the enemy, men owe them, just because men are men and women are women. And of course, women are the oppressed little darlings by a patriarchal state. So that's one of the reasons why women are very obstinate, very rebellious, very obnoxious nowadays, because they think that, I'm strong, I am woman, hear me roar, and if you disagree with my opinion, you must be a male chauvinist pig, a bully, etc.
Yeah, I've heard of such things. Wow, that's pretty cool. You sound like Thunderfoot. Have you ever heard of Thunderfoot?
Thunderfoot? No, sounds like a wrestler.
Yeah. Yo, he's a pretty cool guy. He's on YouTube. He's really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about anti-feminists, though?
Anti-feminists?
Yeah, you've heard of those, right?
The anti-feminists? Well,
not necessarily.
I can imagine what they are.
Not necessarily right.
I don't like feminism. The neo-feminists. I don't like them. They've ruined the relationships between men and women, and they've helped to divide America.